December 1944. The Ardennes Forest, Belgium. Imagine you are an American soldier standing at a frozen checkpoint. The road is covered in snow. The trees are silent. And then, out of the white fog, a jeep slowly appears. The men inside are wearing American uniforms. They speak English. They act calm, like they belong there. But something feels wrong. Because during the Battle of the Bulge, the enemy was not always wearing a German helmet. Sometimes, he was wearing your uniform. This is the story of German commandos in American uniforms, and the fear that made every checkpoint in the Ardennes feel like a trap. On December 16, 1944, the Ardennes looked quiet. Snow covered the roads. The forest seemed still. Many American soldiers believed this was a calm part of the front, but before sunrise, German artillery opened fire. The ground shook. Trees cracked. Telephone lines went dead. And one of Hitler's last desperate gambles began. Germany was losing the war. The Allies had crossed France, and the Reich was being squeezed from both sides. But Hitler believed one final strike in the West could still break the Allied advance. His plan was massive. German tanks would crash through the Ardennes. They would split the Allied armies. They would capture bridges over the Meuse River, and if everything worked, they might reach the port of Antwerp. But before the Germans tried to break the American line with tanks, they tried to break it with doubt. The mission was called Operation Greif. It was led by Otto Skorzeny, a feared German commando officer known for risky missions and bold deception. His men were given a dangerous task. They would move behind American lines wearing captured U.S. uniforms. They would use American jeeps. Some had enough English to bluff their way through checkpoints. Some carried American weapons, and from a distance, they could look like friendly troops. Their job was not to win a battle in the normal way. Their job was to create confusion. Turn road signs around, cut wires, give false directions, send convoys down the wrong road, make American soldiers question every order they heard. This was not just a military attack. It was an attack on trust. An army does not move only on fuel, roads, and weapons. It also moves on belief. Belief that the uniform beside you is friendly, the road sign ahead is true, and the order you receive is real. Operation Greif attacked all of it. The mission did not need to capture every bridge to work. It only needed one thing: panic. At first, the idea sounded almost impossible. German soldiers dressed as Americans, English-speaking commandos driving U.S. jeeps, enemy men passing through checkpoints like they belonged there. But then reports began to spread. A suspicious jeep had been stopped. A man gave a strange answer. Someone's accent sounded wrong. A group of soldiers did not know basic American details. Suddenly, American soldiers could not trust the normal signs of safety. A uniform, a jeep, even clear English could be part of the trick. So at roadblocks, the questions became strange and deadly serious. Soldiers asked things like, who won the World Series? What is the capital of Illinois? Who is Mickey Mouse's girlfriend? Who is Babe Ruth? Some questions sounded almost silly, but in that frozen forest they could decide whether a man lived, moved forward, or was held at gunpoint. And once the first disguised Germans were reported, every checkpoint became a courtroom in the snow. The fear even reached high-ranking officers. Some American generals were stopped by their own troops and questioned like suspects. A wrong answer could delay them. Strange pause could make guards raise their weapons. The disguise campaign had done something rare. It made the American army suspicious of itself. The German commandos were few, but rumors made them feel endless. Some real American soldiers were stopped again and again by their own side. Officers were delayed. Drivers were questioned. Men who were already freezing and exhausted now had to prove they were not the enemy before they could even move down the road. Imagine surviving artillery fire, only to be stopped by your own army because your answer sounded wrong. Imagine being an American soldier from one state, but being asked a question only someone from another state would know. Imagine standing in the snow, tired, hungry, and scared, while a nervous guard points a rifle at you and waits for the right answer. This is how confusion becomes dangerous, not because every rumor is true, but because no one can afford to ignore. The commandos did not have to be everywhere, they only had to make American soldiers believe they could be anywhere. And once that suspicion entered the roads, it moved faster than any jeep. Operation Greif never achieved its main goal. The Germans did not capture the Meuse bridges. They lacked enough captured vehicles, proper uniforms, and men who could speak English well enough to pass as Americans. Many of them looked American from a distance. But up close, the disguise began to crack, and accent slipped out. A uniform detail looked wrong. A simple American question brought a nervous pause. One small mistake could turn a quiet man in uniform into a prisoner. In normal life, these things might mean nothing. In December 1944, they could mean everything. An army is like a living machine. Roads keep it moving. Bridges hold it together. Communication lines carry its orders. If those signals become false, soldiers start moving the wrong way, questioning the right orders, and stopping their own men. Operation Greif did not need to destroy the army. It only needed to slow it, confuse it, and make every road feel dangerous, and for a short time, it did. Then came the question no soldier wanted to face. What happens when the enemy is captured wearing your uniform? For German commandos caught behind American lines, the danger was extreme. To German planners, it was deception. To American soldiers at the roadblocks, it felt like betrayal. And to the captured commandos, it could mean death. Because operating behind enemy lines in the enemy's uniform could be treated as spying, not normal combat. Several captured German commandos were put on trial. Some were executed as spies, and this is where the story becomes darker. Because on paper, war has rules. But on a frozen road, in the middle of a surprise attack, surrounded by rumors and suspicion, soldiers did not have time for legal debates. They had seconds. Friend or enemy? Truth or trick? Let him pass. Or stop him now. That pressure is hard to imagine from a safe distance. But in the Ardennes, hesitation could kill, and trust could be used as a weapon. Operation Greif did not win the Battle of the Bulge. It did not capture the Great Bridges. It did not save Germany from defeat. But it left behind one of the most disturbing lessons of the war. A uniform is supposed to protect a soldier. It tells others, I am one of you. But in the Ardennes, even that simple sign could become a lie. The battle was no longer only in the forest. It entered the mind. And for a short time, American soldiers could no longer fully trust the sign that once meant safety, their own uniform. Because in the Ardennes, the most frightening enemy was not always the one charging from the trees. Sometimes, it was the one sitting calmly inside an American Jeep. If this story made you see World War II differently, subscribe for more documentary stories about the hidden fear, strategy, and psychology behind history.